15th of January, 1999. I had never heard of Recak. I knew nothing about the village, but I was soon to learn quite a bit about the village.
And what made you to decide to go there? What did you know?
Well, you know, I was here on a peacekeeping mission, director of the head of mission of the Kosovo verification mission from the OSCE. I was in Macedonia that day, the 15th of January, and I returned late that night, and I was told by my British assistant, deputy, that there had been a battle out at a village called Recak, and that a number of, they were told, KLA fighters had been killed, and I just wanted to go to the site of a battle and see what had happened and how many had been killed, that sort of thing. So when I left for Recak that next morning, very early, with some of my staff and with a number of journalists, one or two, there were only a few international journalists here at the time. Kosovo was not a particularly interesting story worldwide, and I just went to see what had happened the night before.
And what was the urgency that you felt at that moment when you heard about Recak? What went through your mind in that moment?
I just felt that it was necessary for you know, Kosovo verification mission, and I was the head of the verifiers. I wanted to get out and verify what I thought had happened, or what I saw had happened.
And what did you verify when you went there?
I verified that many more than a few Albanians had been killed. I verified that none of them appeared to be KLA fighters. They were, some of them were too young and some of them were too old. And it was obvious that the story we had been told the night before by the government, there was something wrong with it. There was something fishy.
Were you aware of the risks, or anything changed when you went there and you see things through your eyes?
Yeah, I found out we were told that 10 or 11 or 12 had been killed, and we saw more than 30, 40 bodies. None of them were in uniform. None of them looked like they were KLA. And we were told very quickly that they were the result of what had happened the night before, when Serb police and Serb military had come in and stormed the city, stormed the village. And it was not just what I saw, but I was told by some members of the KLA, some verifiers who had come in the night before, what they had seen, and what they told me was the actuality of the case. And so I changed my mind very quickly. There was something wrong with the government story.
Can you tell us about the emotions when you saw those bodies and the whole scene?
Well, I've been in other war zones and I've seen bodies, but as a human being, you can't see piles of bodies who had been killed by gunshot. And blood, and the winter weather was horrible. There was a lot of snow and ice on the ground, and Recak back then was, you know, it was a regular country village, you know. It didn't have beautiful streets or that sort of thing. So how did I feel? I felt what any normal human being would feel seeing bodies in those conditions.
But is that image something that stayed with you even today when we're talking about it?
Oh yes, I mean, when I see pictures of not only of Recak but of other massacres that took place here in Kosovo that did not get the sort of worldwide attention, you know, I just see pictures and they remind me very much of what I saw that morning.
You publicly stated that what you saw in Recak was a crime against humanity. Can you describe this with other words?
Well, in many wars I have heard about or seen or been present, you know, quite often there are things done by armies, by police, by government entities that certainly look like crimes against humanity. So I sort of know what a crime against humanity looks like. And what I saw that morning, the more I thought about it, the more I talked to witnesses, the more I talked to my verifiers, people from the mission, the more I was very certain I had seen a crime against humanity.
But what was the first scene that you saw, and what was your first words, your first reaction that day when you went for the first time?
Well, the first thing
If you remember it.
Yeah, no, the first thing I heard was a Canadian general who was head of my office in Prizren, and he had sent out some volunteers the night before and then that morning. So I heard the version from them that this did not look like a battle of the military against the KLA, but rather the military and the police coming into a village and taking away the unarmed men. Then we drove directly into the village, and there were a lot of villagers, the women, who were very upset, crying. And then we left the mosque and started to go and see the results of the killing, and we came across the first body. The head was removed.
The head was removed.
Yeah, and it was a very bad first sight of a body. But then we moved up the hill a bit, and I was told there were more bodies, and it got worse and worse.
It got worse. I totally understand. Let's talk about the thing that you every year take the part in commemoration of the Recak massacre. What does it mean for you personally to be here? Even today when we're talking.
Well, I want to come back every time I can. I'm getting very old,
totally.
and I worry about the travel, but I will try to come as long as I am physically able to come. When I first went to Recak in 2000, 2001, there were 15,000 people. None from the government, none from the embassies, including the American embassy. 15,000 people from that region had all come to the village. It was snowing, it was cold, it was horrible, but they all came, they walked mostly, and they were there to show that they thought what had happened at Recak was important. This was a year later. And so I come every year to show that I am very proud of Kosovo and the Kosovars who have understood that this was an event that did lead to the Kosovo today, of which I am so proud.